Hello everybody. Glad to see you again. Reading Writing 2. Glad to see you for week 27. And this week is going to be easy peasy because we did so much last week. Last week for your writing, you had to write 5 paragraphs. Okay, you had to write a big long essay. So I don't know if you had time to finish it or not. If you did not, this is your chance to do it because you're not going to have any writing at all this week. All you're going to be doing is finishing up. What we were going to do this week is lots of review. We were going to go through your whole composition book and review all your reading concepts and elements and things like that. We were going to go finish all the pages that we hadn't finished yet, and we were going to go through your writing assignments and finish all those and just kind of tie up a lot of loose ends, and we can't really do that, so we are not going to do that. But you know what, I'm going to try and get it so that you all can get your composition books and be able to work on those at home without having to make special pages. But anyway, so we are not going to be doing our writing today, but we are going, speaking of easy peasy, we're going to read our poem, and it's called Peas. You can go ahead and get your poem out. It's a very short one. We've had long ones and short ones. This is a short one week. Okay? I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on my knife. Have you ever eaten peas like that? That is a funny way to eat peas, and I can't tell you that I've ever eaten peas either with honey or on a knife. But there's always a first time. You might want to try it sometime. If your mom will let you. It could be messy. Make sure the knife is not sharp. All right, so you have been reading Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And this week you're going to be finishing it. And I don't know, that might make you sad because it really is a good book. But never fear. There are 6 more books in Narnia. Okay, they're all really different. A lot of them, most of them have some of the same characters in them. Edmund and Susan and Lucy and Peter are in a lot of them, or maybe some of them are in some of them, and some of them aren't. But they're all great books, and I think you would really like them. And we're not going to. The only thing I want to talk to you for a minute about today is last week when I was talking about how this could be just a nice, fun, fantasy book for you to read, but it could also be a book that has different meanings in it. It can represent some certain things. And remember, we talked a little bit about how Aslan might represent Jesus a little bit. He was the one that was kind of in charge of everything, and he had a lot of power, and he just was kind of like God in Narnia, as if Narnia was our world, okay? Then the White Witch, she was a pretty evil person, wasn't she? And she was more like the devil. And we're going to see more and more as you read that this is the case. And this week you're going to be reading all the way to the end of the book. And some of the chapters that you're going to be reading might make you sad because, you know, bad things are sad. And in this world we do have bad things, don't we? But the thing about this book, and the thing really about our life, is if we believe the Bible and we love Jesus, we know that it all ends just great, doesn't it? We all get to go to heaven, and you know, that's kind of the way this book is. It's got some sad endings, but it has some sad chapters in it, but it's got a great ending. That's kind of a spoiler alert, but just so you don't get discouraged when you're reading it. But it's a great book. I think you'll really like it. I think what I'd like you to do as you're reading it is to see how the different people in the book change. How are the characters change? Think about Peter. What was he like at the beginning of the book? And then what was he like at the end of the book? How did he change? All of the people in that book changed a lot. Susan changed in some ways. Lucy changed in some ways. which one of the characters seemed to be the most faithful and the most loyal to Aslan, the most likely to not doubt him? Who was that? How did they help the people at the end? How did they change? That was just the main thing. What happened to the White Witch? What happened to Aslan? What did he know that other people and other characters in the book did not know? That's a really important thing. What did he know that they did not know? But by the end of the book, you know and they know. It's an important thing. And is it possible? You know Edmund. He followed the White Witch. He kind of got in trouble, didn't he? He told the White Witch they were in Narnia. And did the White Witch do everything he said that she said she was going to do? Remember, she said she was going to set him up as king, and his brother and his sisters would be in the kingdom too, and he would have as much Turkish delight as he ever wanted, and she was promising him all kinds of things. Did she do what she was gonna that she said she's gonna do? What happened to Edmund? Is it possible to be forgiven? Okay, this is a really big thing. Now think about our own lives. Is it possible when we do wrong things and bad things, is it possible for us to be forgiven? Well, of course it is. Jesus, and that's what we're celebrating actually this weekend. Christ took our sins away from us. Yes, he took our sins for us, so we didn't have to die. We don't have to die for our sins. We can. He didn't have any sins to die for, so he took our sins to die for, didn't he? And so all we have to do is ask forgiveness, and he does forgive us. And so we are really fortunate that way, and we need to tell everybody about it, because not everybody knows that. But in this book, in Lion and the Witch and Wardrobe, you'll see something like that. So I would like you to think about, I would like to talk to you about it a little bit, but it's a little hard to do this way. But I would like you to tell me about Edmund and what happened to him, and how it happened, and why it happened, and just kind of put yourself in his place, okay? All right, well, that's all we're going to do today. Would you believe it's only been a few minutes? And so I hope you have a great time reading and a great time working through your study guide. One thing I wanted to tell you about your study guide. It's kind of far along in the year, and I think some of you are getting tired, and I have noticed that some of the answers don't have complete sentences in them. Okay, I would like you to still do complete sentences, and a good way to do that is to use some of the words that are in the question. All right, so in your first question in the packet, your first question is, at the beginning of the chapter, what was the White Witch going to do to Edmund? All right, so the way you would start that question, that answer would use some of the words in there. You would say, the White Witch was going to whatever, to Edmund, okay? How did the witch escape? The witch escaped by, all right, use some of the words that are in the question to make your answer. And don't forget your punctuation, okay? Has to have periods at the end of most of them. Some of them have to have question marks, but usually when you're answering a question, you don't answer it in a question. You answer it in a statement, which takes a period. Okay? So that was the main thing I wanted to mention to you about your actual study guide. And I am looking forward to seeing what you think about it. And I will talk to you next week. And I hope you have a great week. Enjoy your reading. Bye-bye.